Hi there, this is Ed, and I just thought I'd give you an update on the little fun I've been having with Yellowbook USA lately, the Yellow Pages directory company that I just cannot get to stop sending crap to my house. So, if you recall, in 2008, I got the book and I unsubscribed from it at that time, and in fact, I recorded my call unsubscribing where they assured me that they'd take me off their list.
Okay. All right. Well, you are officially on the Yellow Book Do Not Deliver list. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in and letting us know.
Okay, thank you.
So, of course, they ignored that, and in 2009, I still got a book from them. And then again in 2010, after in 2009, I took the book from my house and other ones around the neighborhood and threw them back at their local office. They still gave me another book. So, I figured 2010, let's try something different this year. Maybe this will work. So instead this year, I decided to write the State Attorney General's office. And actually, I wrote to Yellowbook and I copied this State Attorney General's office. So then what I wrote them about was I sent an invoice to Yellowbook and I said, I asked to be taken off this list. Now you're sending me stuff that is clearly not solicited. Could you please stop? And just because you're causing me pain now, let me just charge you $50 a year for 2009, 2010. So just send them an invoice for $100. Maybe that'll be enough pain to get them to, stop. So then I CC'd the Attorney General's office on it with the idea being that maybe that would get them to pay attention instead of just ignore it. And sure enough, the Attorney General's office in Minnesota, Lori Swanson's office, they wrote back right away. I mean, in a couple days. Parker Merritt's is the guy I was dealing with over there from the Consumer Services Division. The guy's really nice. Had a chance to talk to him on the phone. And what he explained to me was that they don't really have jurisdiction to enforce Yellowbook to pay this bill. But he said he would write him a letter. So that's kind of nice. So he wrote him a letter and he CC'd me on it and he basically said, it'd be nice if you could explain to him what you're going to do. Explain to me, to Mr. Kohler, what you're going to do to solve this problem. That'd be kind of nice. So we can see what we can do about that. And he asked that they send him a response within 10 days. So that was kind of fun. I had given him 30 days to send me an invoice, and I guess Parker kind of turned it up a notch. So then what I found is that the Attorney General's office did respond, or the Yellowbook USA responded. The office here in Mendota Heights, they forwarded my correspondence out to New York, to Uniondale, which is the headquarters of Yellowbook USA, Inc., and they responded. Karen Bonner from there, she responded. She's the associate counsel for Yellowbook. And she told Parker via fax, you know what, we're going to need more time. We're going to have to think about this one a bit. So she asked that they have an extension until August 31st, which gave them like 11 more days to think about what they're going to do. And I think that was smart of Yellowbook because, it puts them in a little bit of a pinch because obviously if they respond and pay me, what am I going to do? I'm going to take that check and I'm going to take a picture of it and put it on my blog and say, here's how you can get $100, right? So, they knew they didn't want to pay me. And I mean, that makes sense. So then September 8th, Parker from Lori Swanson's office, he noticed that Yellowbook didn't actually respond. They just, somehow time flew by. They didn't respond to their own promise of responding by the end of August, which kind of goes to their ability to not respond to things in general. Their promises, we found out their word isn't good already, right? So it turns out it's not just with consumers and residents, it's also with Attorney General's offices. But Parker, he knows how to use his calendar at his office, so he must have set himself a reminder, and he said that, you know what, it's really a shame that you guys didn't bother to respond to him. And so on September 8th, he said, we again request you take the steps outlined in our initial letter, a copy of which is enclosed, and forward a written statement of your company's position to this office within 7 business days. We believe Mr. Kohler deserves the courtesy of a reply. So that was nice of him. Thanks, Parker, for staying on top of things. And you know what? Parker actually did get him to respond. And again, they were late in their response, I believe. But I think they did respond this time on a timely manner. So they faxed over a response to Parker telling him what they would do. And what we found is that it didn't really solve the problem, but it really gave us some insight into why Yellowbook is incompetent as it is. So let me just read you what Yellowbook had to say about why they gave me books in 2009 and 2010 after I unsubscribed in 2008. Dear Mr. Merritt, by the way, this is coming again from Karen Bonner, Associate Counsel for Yellowbook USA out in Uniondale, New York. September 13th, 2010. Dear Mr. Mertz, I am writing in response to your letter dated July 30th, 2010, regarding the above referenced claim. We have completed our investigation of the allegations contained in your letter regarding the complaint by Mr. Ed Kohler that Yellowbook has delivered copies of its directory to his residence on 2 occasions, despite his request to opt out of such deliveries. Our response is set forth below. By way of background, Yellowbook is an independent publisher of Yellow Pages. Blah, blah, blah. Yep, we know that. Yellowbook maintains an internal do not deliver list of individuals who have opted out of receiving a directory. I am advised by our distribution department that Mr. Kohler requested to be added to our do not deliver list following delivery of the Minneapolis, Minnesota directory in 2008. However, his address was mistakenly included in the opt-out list, excluded from the opt-out list due to a clerical error, and a directory was delivered to Mr. Kohler's residence in 2009. Although Mr. Kohler did not contact Yellowbook directly, we became aware of the 2009 delivery as a result of a blog posted by Mr. Kohler complaining about Yellowbook's error, and we corrected our records accordingly. In 2010, Mr. Kohler's address was included on Yellowbook's Do Not Deliver list for the Minneapolis directory. We gave instructions to our delivery contractor not to deliver a directory to Mr. Kohler's address. Our delivery contractor has advised that no directory was delivered, and the documentation of the delivery route submitted by our contractor confirms this. Obviously, what our delivery contractor is telling us is different from what Mr. Kohler has claimed, and we understand that this discrepancy is not likely to be resolved either way. We will take extra precautions with our delivery contractor next year to ensure that our directory is not delivered to Mr. Kohler's residence. In addition, we would be willing to pick up the directory that was erroneously delivered to Mr. Kohler's convenience in order to rectify the situation. We hope this satisfies your concern. So, as you can see, the company is fairly incompetent. In 2009, clerical error just couldn't figure out how to actually put me on the list, even though they confirmed on the phone that they had me on the list at that time. In 2010, they're basically making stuff up. They have apparently the contractors who are actually delivering the books, they claim that they have opt-out people on those lists, so the opt-out or the contractors know certain houses they're not supposed to deliver to, potentially on those lists it shows them, check the boxes of the houses that you didn't deliver to, something like that. They're basically saying that it's either the contractor's lying or I'm lying. Now, why would I lie? I don't understand why I would make stuff up saying that they delivered me a book. On the other hand, the contractor is getting paid based on the accuracy of his delivery probably, so he might have a little bit more incentive than I do. But either way, it just goes to show that they're really failing at this, and the idea that I need to call them to have them come pick up a book they never asked for in the first place shows that, once again, they're offloading time onto me rather than just doing things right and showing some competence. So, Yellowbook, fail, fail, fail. I hope one day you can get it right. I don't have a problem with Yellowbook directories. Just please send them to the people who want them. Honor your own list. Honor your own promises. Thank you.